Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 16 of the John Doe Review. My name is Danielle. John Doe, obviously. I got this little mic on me, and my cat's jumping behind me. And today, I don't have many topics to talk about this week, but I do have a very important topic to talk about, which will be our first topic, which is my cousin getting engaged and how I was able to fly out and surprise her. Other than that, I'll be talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero and I have thoughts on the movie, all positive. Do I have any negative thoughts? We'll see. And then after that, I'll talk about a old lady doing a bizarre thing to me in H-E-B in the pickle aisle. Yeah. And lastly, getting flirted with at Starbucks? Question mark? Anyways, since this is the John Doe review, y'all will have to stay to the end to hear what my review is of the last 2 weeks of my life. And I will rate them out of 5 stars, but you'll have to stay to the end to figure out what I rated them. Let's go. Topic 1, surprising my cousin for, I can't even talk, surprising my cousin for her engagement. So, for those of you who don't know, which I'm assuming the majority of people who watch this podcast do know me in real life. So if you know me, you know about my cousin. Long history short. She is my best friend. She is my sister. She is a part of me and is my ride or die forever and always into the afterlife. Okay? To the point where like when other people are like, oh, I'm so close with my insert whoever, my brain is like, me and my cousin are closer, man. And so obviously I have been excited at the idea of her getting engaged and just so happy for her. But me and her would joke about all the time that her fiance, there's like no way he would tell me, because when I tell you me and my cousin are constantly in a conversation. Like we don't say hello, good morning, or good night, goodbye. Like it is a constant conversation that is happening every single day throughout the entire day. And so me and her would joke and be like, there's no way he's going to tell me, because one, I feel like realistically there is a chance that I might spoil it. And two, like, how do I hide so much from her when we talk all the time and like FaceTime and voice message and we have each other's locations, right? And she's in a completely different state than I am in. Like, we have always been our relationship has always been long distance. We've never lived in the same state. And so if I were to just randomly fly out there, it'd be like, what? Like, what are you doing in here? Especially because she knows every time I land in her state, the first thing I do is let her know. And even then, she would have known the second I decided I was going, whether that be a week in advance or a year in advance. Like, she would know. And so I was like, you know what, he's probably never going to tell me. Was I a little sad about it? Yeah. But I also like fully understood. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like, I need to be involved in everything. I'm just one of those people where it's like, I would love to be involved, but if you don't want me involved, like, that's your business. Like, I'm not going to push you. And so I kind of came to terms with that. And me and her had another bout of it where she had posted on TikTok. Like, so she has like a following on social media, and she posted on TikTok, hinting that she felt like something was going to happen very soon. So I'm like, oh wait, no, that's inaccurate. Wait. Okay. Flashback. We had a conversation and we both were saying the same thing, maybe like a week before I get this call that I'm about to talk to you about. We had a conversation and we said the same things of like, there's no way he's going to tell me, because like, that'd be scary. Like, honestly, if I was him, I wouldn't have told me. And so then maybe a week after that FaceTime call, I get a FaceTime from him and he shows me the ring and like tells me, one, the ring is beautiful. It was so well catered to my cousin's taste. Like, he really did a great job. And he tells me that, he planned this whole proposal where he told her that one of his good friends was having an all-white brunch for his birthday, which, like, that's something I've heard of, like, all-white brunches. But on top of that, he was getting her nails done, and she was going to be doing her hair before this. And in my head, I'm thinking, my cousin hasn't mentioned any of this to me at all. So then I started feeling away. I was like, what do you mean all of this suspicious information is being told to her and she hasn't thought, maybe I'm getting proposed to. But whatever. He tells me all of that, and he says, and after, the big surprise where she realizes it wasn't a brunch, we're gonna take photos, and obviously she'll be dressed nice, and her hair and makeup will be done, her nails will be done, and they'll have a photo shoot. But after the photo shoot, there was gonna be a surprise dinner with family. And so he was like, I wanted to invite you to that. I know it's last minute because I had about 2 weeks to figure it out. But he was like, if you can come, please, you are welcome to. If you can't, like, we understand. And so I told him, I was like, I'm gonna try everything that I can to be there. I had like a work conference, and thankfully I love my job. I was able to get out of one of the days to be there. But anyway, so I booked my flight. My dad works for Delta, so I got to fly standby, and like nothing is happening at the beginning of August. So I was able to get on my flights. I get there Friday night. Here's where the conversation around hiding me from her gets complicated. Because, well, one, I'm in her state and she doesn't know. So the second she finds out that I'm in her state, she's immediately going to be suspicious. And why I was so concerned about her not finding out about me is because remember when I was like, she didn't let me know that all this suspicious stuff was happening, and now I'm just hearing about it. What the heck? I get a FaceTime call the night before I leave. And it's like 12 a.m. her time. She's in a bonnet. She calls me and she's like, Danielle. Because my cousin doesn't know how to say my freaking name. She goes, Danielle, and puts the emphasis on the Dan when the emphasis is supposed to be on the yell. It's Danielle, not Danielle. Anyways, she goes, Danielle, I was just... This call was so dumb. She goes, I was just laying in bed and I put my head on my pillow and then I go, I think something's about to happen. And I immediately know she's talking about the proposal, but I play dumb because me and my husband, we're also in bed at this point. We're next to each other and we're like, fuck. And she goes, I think something's about to happen. And I was like, what? What is about to happen? What are you talking about? Please don't say it. Please don't say it. And she goes, so her boyfriend, so she goes, I don't say names because I like people to have their privacy. So she's like, my boyfriend just told me that, he's going to pay for my nails, and I didn't think anything of it, but then I just realized that, so he, and I, at this point, I'm telling her, like, get to the point, because I need to start combating this immediately. And so she was like, well, so he said on Sunday that we're going to this all-white brunch for his friend's birthday in this, like, city that's a little bit far from them. And she was like, I didn't think anything of it because, like, it really is that friend's birthday. And she was like, but then he told me he was paying for my nails on Friday or Saturday, one of the days. And then he was asking about me possibly bringing makeup to, like, touch my makeup up. And I was like, because here's my thing. The all-white brunch, I immediately was like, oh, I've heard of that before. Like, because I have heard of all-white brunches, and I would say they're around, the mid-20, late 20 crowd is doing that. And so I was like, oh, well, I've heard of an all-white brunch before. Like, do you really think? But, like, I'm walking the line of, like, I can't be too suspicious in the sense of being like, no way. Because, mind you, when I was getting proposed to, she took the hard stance of, like, no, he's not proposing. Like, no way. Like, she didn't give me a little, like, oh my God, that is a little suspicious. So with that in mind, I had to be like, okay, I need to walk the line of, oh yeah, that is a little suspicious, but also like talk her off the ledge and get her to be like, no, no way. And so I'm telling her, oh yeah, but like I can see how you'd be suspicious, but like, is it really his friend's birthday? Yes. Is it like, is that something that's out of the normal? Well, no. And then I'm like, okay, and what about the makeup thing? Like, has he ever had you like bring makeup to touch up your makeup with? And he was like, or she goes, well, there was one time that I was in the car with makeup, but like that's just so weird. Like, why would he tell me to bring my makeup? And I'm thinking in my head, like, oh my God, why would he say that? This whole time, I've been worried about me spoiling the proposal, and he's telling her things like, oh yeah, well, why don't you just bring some makeup to, touch it up in the car? Because it's a long drive. The drive was about an hour and a half. And like to the city that his friend actually lives in. So the plan made sense, but then he was being suspicious. Okay, paying for the nails, not a big deal because she said he's done that before. But now you're talking about makeup. And so then me and her talk about the makeup and the hair and the outfit for a while, and I get her to chill out. How I get her to chill out is I have my husband, while my cousin is rambling on about the suspicions she has, and well, I don't actually think he'd be doing it now though. I thought he'd do it in the fall, and like this would be really soon, like really soon in the sense of they knew that they were gonna get engaged soon, and by soon she meant by the end of the year. But for it to be happening like that weekend would be like way sooner than she like had guessed. And so I have my husband, while she's rambling her thought process, I pause the FaceTime call and then like make sure my mouth isn't visible. And I'm still looking at her and I tell my husband, I like tap him and I go, I just need you to say yes to whatever I ask. And then I unmute the mic and I go, okay, wait. Hunter, did he tell you when he was gonna propose? And then I turn to my cousin and I go, because I just found out that Hunter was told when he was gonna propose and was shown the ring when y'all were in town for our wedding in December. Now, is that fully a lie? No. What my husband was shown was he was shown the ring and he was told the proposal plan. He wasn't told exactly when it was gonna happen. And so Hunter in that moment goes, yes, he did. And I'm not showing him because Hunter's a bad liar. So I look at her and I go, okay, I think he's telling the truth because he's a really bad liar. And so then I turn back to Hunter and I go, okay, without fully giving it away, could you mayhaps confirm if it would be happening anytime soon? And Hunter goes, it mayhaps not be happening soon. I was like, okay, see, like, I'm looking at him and I don't think he's lying. And she's like, well, Danielle, are you lying? Because then she starts getting suspicious of me, like, do you know? And so then I played the completely oblivious card. I'm like, no, I have no idea. Like, why would he tell me? He knows that, like, you'd figure it out if I knew. Like, there's no way he would tell me. And so she's like, okay. And then with my husband being like, yeah, it's not happening now. Like, we were messing with him for a while, being like, are you telling the truth? And he was like, yeah, no, it's for real not happening now.
Hey y'all, editing Danielle here while I look homeless as I edit this in bed. I wanted to insert the fact that when I am telling my cousin, like, yeah, there's no way he would tell me, like, we already know, like, I wouldn't be able to keep that secret, and, oh, Hunter's a really bad liar, like, we'd be able to tell if he was lying. My cousin was like, oh, yeah, you know what? You're so right, because, like, I know that if you knew, I'd be able to tell. Like, I feel like I could just pick up on it, you know? And I was like, yeah, go ahead, think that, sweetheart. Little do you know, I'm flying out tomorrow.
And so then at that point, my cousin's like, okay. Well, then another weird thing happened. And I was like, oh my God, what else? Because at this point, the call has been going on for like maybe 20 minutes. And she goes, well, he did tell me to straighten my hair. And I was like, what the fuck? And so then she was like, well, like, he didn't tell me to, but like, if anything, he asks me to wear my hair curly, because my cousin usually when she has like formal events or like for her birthday, she'll straighten it because she likes the way it looks for like more like fancy photos. And she was like, if anything, he asks me to wear my hair curly, like he really likes my curly hair. But when we were shopping for my dress, he goes like, oh, so what are you going to do with your hair? Like, are you going to straighten it? And she was like, and now that I think about that, like, he has never asked me if I was going to straighten my hair. And I'm like, man, fuck. I'm like, how do I recover from this? And then she sends me a video of the moment because she was recording herself with like holding the dress up in the dressing room mirror. And he's behind her like, yeah, what are you going to do? Like, we got to think about your hair. What are you going to do with your hair? Are you going to straighten it? And I'm like, bro, this man is not making my job easier. When he called me, we kikied about, Danielle, you need to keep this a secret and blah, 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 and you can't tell anyone. I didn't even tell my parents. And look at him. And I'm thinking like, honestly, my immediate thoughts were like, I'm fighting for my fucking life. Y'all killing me with this shit. I hope whoever's listening understands what I'm referencing. That is exactly how I felt in that moment. So I'm talking her down. I'm not, but I'm also being like, yeah, that is. But like, do you think? And I'm taking the stance of like, has he never done anything like this before? And she was like, well, no, he has. And I was like, so if it's really not out of the normal, like my guard would be low, especially like, and I told her like, it would make more sense that he would do it later in the year. Cause her thing was like, well, my birthday's in August. Like, I don't think he'd do like in August. And I honestly think that was the perfect way for him to genuinely make it a surprise because how she was thinking about it was like there was an event every month up until like October. And she was like, so I think he's going to do it in October to like make it, you know, like that's the month we get engaged. But no, he fully surprised her and did her birthday month, even though it was the very beginning and her birthday isn't until the end. But like she wasn't expecting that. And so I'm talking her down. I'm telling her, no, yeah, like I get it, but like if Hunter isn't being suspicious right now, like I really don't think it's happening this weekend. Like, yes, it's sus. And so then to make my life even harder, she goes, well, when I'm getting my nails done on Friday, I'm going to tell him that I'm just going to get like a crazy color. And I was like, bro, please, I can't. It's like, so now I'm like, yeah, maybe like, I mean, you can do what you want to do. Mind you, my cousin, like when she gets her nails done, she usually doesn't get anything crazy. Like for me, I'll get like crazy designs and stuff. She rarely does that. She usually likes like a French or like a neutral or like a pastel. And she's like, I'll just get like some crazy color and see how he reacts. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't do it, please. So I'm like, no, like do something cute that'll go with your outfit. Like a white, like a French, like a pearl, you know? But then I was like, oh, but do what you want, get what you want. And then I started landing on, okay, well, I don't think it's going to happen, but you guys know. So how he set it up is they're going to dress up, go to this birthday dinner, and then afterwards they're going to have like a cute little couple photo shoot just with each other because they both have like nice cameras and they both before have taken pictures together of themselves and just like gotten cute couple photos. So she was thinking like, oh yeah, afterwards we're going to have a cute little like couple photo shoot between the two of us. And so I'm telling her, well, you still should just dress up in a way that you want to look good for those photos. Wink, wink. And she finally was like, okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, like do your hair, your nails, your makeup, your outfit, everything in a way that like you at least won't regret like how it looks in those pictures. And if it ends up being a proposal, which I don't think it does, I don't think it does sound like he's proposing. There's gonna be no like, dang, I shouldn't have gotten neon green nails for those photos. And so we hang up the call. That was like I want to say like a 45-minute conversation where I was literally fighting for my life the entire time. And honestly, I'm really proud of myself, okay? Pat myself on the freaking back because I was sweating. I'm sweating now talking about it. It was so stressful. And so I fly out the next day and here's when it gets tricky, right? Oh my God, I did like the hugest tangent. Here's where it actually gets tricky. Back on track. My cousin always knows when I'm in her city. Before I get there, when I get there, and when I leave, and when I get home. So there's no way she can find out I'm there at all. Because the second she knows I'm there and I haven't mentioned it to her, she's gonna immediately be like, something's happening. So I transfer my location from my phone to my iPad. So my iPad is showing that I'm still at my house. And so that's clear. Here's the issue. Where I'm staying is with my aunt, who she is also very close with and also lives 5 minutes away from her. And so how we organize this is I time me getting into the state with my other cousin, who's her sister, who was just like flying in for fun, which is something she does. She was visiting home for the summer, right? And so I timed my flight to land around hers so that when we get picked up, we can get picked up by her other sister, who's my older cousin. And she can pick both of us up and then drop me off at our aunt's house. We're like, okay, this will be fine. I land and I find out that my other cousin, her flight got canceled. So we're like, oh shit, because my other cousin who was picking me up was already at the airport, and my cousin who's getting engaged, sometimes I wish I used names, my other cousin who's getting engaged knew, because they were in the same house, knew that she went to the airport to pick up her sister, right? But now that her sister's flight got canceled, oh, well, why are you going to the airport still? So we had to create this whole lie that my cousin who was picking me up left, and my cousin whose flight got canceled didn't tell her it got canceled until it was like too late and she was already on her way to the airport. And then she was gonna try to get on the next flight, quote unquote, but there was no other flight after that. But she was gonna try to get on the next flight and then didn't get on that one. So my cousin went to the airport for no reason, and that's why she's coming back empty-handed. But in reality, she was picking me up from the airport and then dropping me off at my auntie's house. And so I get there and I have to hide out Friday night, all of Saturday, and then the majority of Sunday until 4. On Saturday, my cousin who's getting engaged finds out that my auntie is sick, and she's very close with this aunt, so she wants to come over and be like, oh, are you okay? Is there anything I can do? We have to be like, not we. My aunt and uncle were like, no. And I'm like, literally in the next room, hearing this conversation and being like, please, because I had a whole game plan that if she did come over, I would have to, one, remove all of my items and hide them because she recognizes my bags. She knows my toiletry bag. She knows my glasses. Like, she knows like my stuff. And so she immediately would be like, this is Danielle's stuff. And so I would have to hide all of those and like go into a closet in the office and like hope and pray that she doesn't go in there. And so they were able to tell her like, no, don't come, it's fine. And she's contagious, so don't show up. And so she didn't come over. I just binged the Spider-Man movies over the weekend. I rewatched some and then rewatched Andrew Garfield's for the first time because I knew I was going to see Brand New Day on Monday. And we'll get to that. Anyway, Sunday rolls around. I go to the dinner. It was beautiful. Well, one, on my way to the dinner, I get a selfie from her, and all it says is, I hate you. And it's her holding up the ring. And I respond with like, hee, like, so happy for you, love you, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you're such a liar. And I was like, yeah, little do you know there's more. And then I like play into it. I'm like, oh, what are y'all up to now? And she was like, we're about to go to dinner. And I was like, oh, have fun. Anyways, I get to the restaurant, they walk in, her eyes scan the crowd, and I got a video of this, so I'm happy I had my phone propped up, but her eyes scan everyone, and it's like 20 of us in this room, because it's like all of her immediate family, his parents and grandparents, me, the aunt and uncle that she's close with, like, it's a bunch of people, we got a big family. And so, anyways, she walks in, scans the room with everybody, and she's like, oh my God, guys, thank you, and then she locks eyes with me. And her, like, I could see her mind get blown. She was like, what? And so then she starts hugging people, gets to me and is like, how did you get here? Like, I checked your location yesterday. And I was like, I knew you'd be a nosy bitch. I knew it. And she was like, I checked your location yesterday. It says you're back home. And I was like, yeah, like, it's crazy. Haha. It's my iPad, surprise. And she was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. It was a beautiful dinner. Speeches were given, people cried. I was like kind of pressured into giving a spontaneous speech because everybody was saying something. And like one thing about me is I'm very bad at speeches. Like, believe it or not, I can talk a lot, but when it comes to a speech and organized thought, it's not my strong suit. And so I got up and said a couple of words, made it meaningful, like let her know how much she matters to me, how happy I am for them. I said in my speech, like, I love her fiance. Like, he genuinely does feel like one of my cousins now. And I'm a very vibey person, okay? I feel, some people may say it's judgmental, okay? I say vibey because I feel like I can figure out fairly quickly if I like someone and if like we are going to vibe as a group, as a people. And if you don't match that vibe quickly, oh, my husband is FaceTiming me. If you don't match that vibe quickly, it's just not going to work, in my opinion. And then 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work. Have I been surprised other times? Yes, but for the most part, I'm pretty spot on. And I really like that guy, okay? He's a fan. He might listen to this. Love you. And I'm just very happy for them. I think they're a beautiful couple. I think they treat each other exactly how the other deserves to be treated. And very excited. So that happened. I gave my little speech. We went on with our day, hung out afterwards, played games, got to just, get as much time with her as I could because she was like, damn, you've been here since like Friday night and I only get to see you Sunday night. And then I leave the next morning, or not morning, but like early afternoon. My flight was at like 3 and I had to be at the airport by like 1. And so, yeah, I was like, but I wanted to be here and blah, blah, blah. And so that was a beautiful weekend. I'm so happy for her. When I came back, she sent me a message and was like, you being there like made everything 100 times better. And like reading that, it's like, I know my cousin loves me and I know she knows I love her. But whenever we do have our cheesy moments, I'm like, I just love her and I'm so happy for her. I then sent her on the way to our airport, she dropped me off. I sent her all of these videos I had been recording. So fun fact, the second I found out that she was engaged, I immediately wanted to talk to her about it, but obviously I couldn't. And so I started recording videos. What is happening? Okay, sorry, had to pause and reset because my husband was blowing up my phone and I thought something was happening. And then I call him back and he goes, just wanted to let you know I'm on my way home. And I was like, I'm recording the podcast. And he was like, oh, was I interrupting? And I was like, yes. But anyways, I had been recording videos, basically getting out the thoughts that I wanted to tell her, so that I could send them to her later. So like the first video is me literally, like I ended the call with her fiance and then started the video and was like, I just got the call that you're getting engaged, blah, blah, blah. And I like go on a whole rant about all my thoughts and then obviously like tell her how excited I am. Then the next video is actually 2 days later because I called my auntie to ask about like just logistics. We were trying to see if my husband could come, but it ended up not working out. And he's so sad about that. But we will be there for everything else that we could possibly be there for. But I call my aunt and I basically tell her like, we're definitely coming for Thanksgiving because we're spending Thanksgiving out there. And I was like, but for this, we're trying to see if Hunter can blah, 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 blah. And my aunt interrupts me because it's clear that like my cousin knew I was coming for Thanksgiving, but I'm talking about coming at another time that she is unaware of. And so my aunt interrupts me and goes, and then says her name and then says, could you pause the movie, please? And I was like, ooh. And then I have to like create this whole stupid lie and like be so indecisive because then I like twisted it into, well, for Thanksgiving, actually, we don't know if we're going to come anymore because we're trying to figure out which way we want to go. And like, we don't actually know if Hunter can come anymore because yada, yada. I like spun this whole stupid lie and my auntie played into it perfectly. And I could tell that my cousin in the background was like, Danielle, like, what are you talking about? like I could tell she was getting annoyed because I was like now going back on my word in regards to like coming anymore. Anyways, that was 2 days later. So the next video I recorded was me being like, yo, I just almost ruined everything. Holy shit. Hold on. My dog is being annoying. Yeah, so I recorded that video and like, honestly, I felt so bad because I was worried that she was going to get suspicious. But then, as we all know, she didn't get suspicious until 2 days before and then called me. Good Lord. I'm like, he tells you it's an all-white brunch. Actually, yeah, let me shit on my cousin for a second. He tells you it's an all-white brunch that you'll be taking photos out, pays for your nails, and convinces you to straighten your hair. And you're just now getting suspicious? And so, yeah, that happened. There's a couple of other videos like in the process of, me going through things, or like I made a video when she was on FaceTime with my auntie and like was talking about coming over, and like in the video I'm like, no. And everything pulled off and it was beautiful. And so very happy for them. So excited for their wedding. It's going to be so much fun. I love weddings. I love love. I love when love wins. Okay. And love definitely won in this case. I would just like to shout myself out. Because I do deserve my flowers, because my cousin literally said, I was suspicious until I had that phone call with you, the one that was after midnight for almost an hour. Yeah, that one, where I was fighting for my life. And she was like, I had that phone call, but like you really talked me off the ledge. And I was like, yeah. Because guess what, everyone? It wasn't Danielle that made her suspicious. It was her freaking fiance. Talking about, oh, Danielle definitely could not know, because like she'd make it so obvious. Okay, did Danielle almost reveal it? Yeah, but once, and I recovered. Okay, he has 4 things working against him at this point. Okay, moving on to when I got back home and watched Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm gonna keep it short. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man. Does that mean I hate the other Spider-Man? No, I love all of them, but Tobey Maguire was a fantastic Peter Parker. Didn't have enough swag as Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield, while his chemistry with Emma Stone off the charts, did I hit that back 10 seconds button quite a few times when I watched his movies? Yes! But he gave cool skater kid as Peter Parker. Like, nobody's bullying him, nobody's making him feel insecure like that. But he was a very, very cool Spider-Man, right? Tom Holland, I feel like, embodies both parts of Spider-Man. And that's the whole point, right? He's supposed to be, like, Spider-Man is Peter Parker's alter ego. He's supposed to be super cool and super, like, has all these quips and is sarcastic and has some swag to how he moves about himself. But then as Peter Parker, he's a freaking loser, And I feel like the previous 2 were nailing one side of him, but Tom really nails both. And these films, I feel like, really let us see Peter Parker as a kid. We meet him as a somewhat new teenager. He was like 14 or 15 in the first film. And then now in Brand New Day, he's 22, 23. And we are now getting to see the evolution of Peter Parker from a young man to a grown man at this point, still figuring it out, still going through things that we can all relate to. It was a beautiful film. I'm not going to give any spoilers because I would hate to spoil it for anybody. But I will say, it was my favorite Spider-Man movie of the 4 that Tom Holland has been in, and it is my favorite Spider-Man movie to date. And all it did was solidify to me even more so that Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man. Like, he just does phenomenal in this film. Zendaya does phenomenal in this film. Literally, the whole cast did a fantastic job. And I think it's so dumb, side note, that people are just now being like, wow, Zendaya can actually act. Like, she did a good job in this film. It's so funny to me how people will be like, Zendaya plays the exact same character and, like, does the exact same things with her face in every single role that she has. Y'all are stupid. I'm sorry. Because then they'll, like, pick clips of, like, each of her characters, and they're, like, in kind of non-descriptive moments where, like, her character's kind of just, like, there. Like, nothing's really happening, and they'll be like, see, she does the same face in every... Y'all are just haters. Throwback to last episode, people are just haters and miserable. So, yeah, she did a fantastic job. I love the movie. The only somewhat spoiler thing I will say, so if you haven't watched, maybe skip forward 20 seconds, is I love how they didn't give us an immediate happy ending with him and MJ. Even though I hate it and I want them to be together so bad, I appreciate that they let us witness Peter live with his decision at the end of No Way Home to have everyone forget him. And it's not as simple as, oh, it gets fixed in the next movie. Like, you witness him have to deal with that decision, and for him to hear the woman that he loves say, I don't love you because I don't know you. Like, oh my God, another spoiler. In the scene where MJ is being controlled by the villain, and you think it's MJ, and she's like, Peter, and like remembers him, and they kiss, and it's like this beautiful moment, and then you realize it's not her, and it was actually the villain controlling her this entire time. And like seeing the betrayal on Peter's face, gut-wrenching. Oh, I like literally, my jaw was dropped, my heart sunk to my stomach. I felt so bad for Peter. Anyways, fantastic movie. Had an amazing time. Highly recommend. If you are somebody who's not into superhero movies, like, I get it. I'm somebody who's super into superhero movies. But if you're not into superhero movies, the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy, I feel like is a really good medium. Because not only do you get time with him as Spider-Man, but it really does take you into just the life of a young kid who gets thrown into crazy situations and goes through so much tragedy and still manages to come out on top at the end. Like, it's still a great, just like, personal story to watch. And Brand New Day is just another example of that, but times 1,000. They really ramp up the storyline of Peter just dealing with his life, which I thought was interesting. They made a really, really fantastic directing choice to have moments where you could see Peter's eye through the Spider-Man mask. And I don't mean like the shots where it's inside the mask. I mean like from the outside, he'll hit an angle and you can see that it's like Tom Holland. It's Peter Parker inside of that mask. And like some moments they focus on it, but some other moments they're not focusing on it, but it just makes him more personable because he spends, I would say, the majority of this movie in the Spider-Man suit, but he still really just feels like Peter Parker for 90% of this movie, whether he's in the suit or not. And so, highly recommend. Watch it. It's a great balance. If you've never watched any superhero movies, look into the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy / quadrilogy at this point, because they're a good medium. It's not all supervillains and fighting and boom, boom, pow, whack, explosion. It's more than that. It's beautiful lessons. 10 out of 10. Moving on. Okay, last two topics, fairly quick. First one, old lady in H-E-B in the pickle aisle. I'm scanning the pickles. Okay, I'm going through a sweet pickle phase. I don't know. Go ahead and judge me because I used to judge sweet pickle lovers as well. Okay, but I'm going through a phase. They're really good. I'm looking at my options, pickle me sweet, but it's bread and butter, or like pickle me sweet, but it's just like sweet. Like, what's the difference, And these are the thoughts I was having. And as I'm looking, my cart's beside me, but I'm facing the aisle, or the, like, pickles. I feel like a sharp poke in the side of my arm, and I turn, and it's an old lady. And I'm like, oh, maybe she wants me to grab something, because, like, old people sometimes will ask me to, like, grab things from the top shelf for them. And so I'm expecting that, but she just looks at me, and she has, like, a small, like, smile on her face. And I'm like, okay. And so I turn to her, and then I see her reach for my purse, which is in that like front little kids seating spot part of a cart. She reaches for my purse, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, ain't no way I'm about to have to fight an old lady over my purse. Like, I mean, because I don't want to do that, but I will do it if I have to. Like, don't make me, because I will be ashamed, but also like, that's my stuff. So she grabs my purse, and I'm like, where is this going? And then she grabs my hand and puts the purse in my hand and then kind of just holds on to me. So then I'm looking at her. I'm like, yeah, thank you. And then I'm waiting, like, is she going to ask me for money? Like, what's happening? And she kind of just pats my hand. And this whole interaction was like maybe like a full 30 seconds. Like, it at least felt pretty long. And she patted my hand and kind of just stared at me and kept patting. And I'm like, yeah, thank you, please let go. Please let go. And then she just walks away. Yeah, she just walks away. And that was that, I guess. What I'm thinking is she was trying to tell me, like, don't face away from your purse, or like be aware that your purse is open, like on your cart, like somebody could walk by and take something. Because best believe right after she walked away, I zipped up my purse and put it on my shoulder. But I think that's what she was trying to tell me, but maybe she was struggling with communicating it. But now that I look back, I do think it was a very sweet moment. And shout her out. I hope she's having a wonderful week. The purse protector. Next story, getting flirted with at Starbucks. Okay, I went to Starbucks today with my 2 friends who I work with, and I walk up. I'm just getting a grilled cheese because I've never had their grilled cheese, and my friend was hyping it up. So I was like, okay, let me try the grilled cheese. I walk up. I'm dressed just like that. I look just like this. I don't look like anything crazy right now. And I walk up, and the guy working looks to be around my age, cheesing real hard. And he's like, and I'm like, hi, just this, please. And he's like, okay. And he, it's going to show you something on the screen. And I was like, thank you. Type my stuff in. As I'm typing my stuff in, he goes, how's your day been? And I was like, oh, it's been good. Like, I'm having a good day. And he was like, great. And as I'm still typing, I can tell out of my peripheral that he's still smiling at me and like just staring at, like, I noticed how much he was staring at me, but I don't know. I'll get to that. And then I look back up and he's still like staring at me and he goes, I really like your hair. And I go, oh, really? Because I feel like it's super fluffy today, which I do. I feel like my hair is very fluffy today because I washed it yesterday, and it's usually the frizziest / fluffiest the day after wash day. And so I tell him that, I go, really? Like, I washed my hair yesterday and I feel like it's so fluffy today. And he was like, no, it looks really good. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. And I grabbed my receipt from him and he was like, you have a wonderful day. Like, it'll be out soon. But he's like, he's staring at me and he's smiling. But it's not like a customer service smile where it's like a genuine, like, he's smiling at me. And so I'm like, okay, a little odd. I go and sit down. My friends had already been sitting, and my other friend goes, Danielle, that man wants you. I was like, really? And he's like, no, mama. Like, I was watching him and he was staring and like looking at you. And by looking at you, I mean looking at you. And I'm like, no way. Like, I'm in like a shirt and jeans and like I barely have any makeup on. Like, there's no way. And he was like, no, like, I'm telling you right now, as a guy, the way he was looking at you, he wanted you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I go, well, he did tell me he liked my hair. And he was like, exactly. So do I know confirmed if he was checking me out? No. But I did notice he very much was like being very intentional with how he was staring at me. Like, my friend had said, like, he did not even look away. Like, he was maintaining extremely consistent eye contact. And I was like, okay. Anyways, I ended up texting my cousin who's now engaged. And I was like, I always find it so interesting when people flirt with me. Because, like, I don't get flirted with often. Or maybe, because I told that to my friend who's like, or maybe you just don't pick up on it. And I was like, whatever. Because, like, most of the time I'm pretty low key. I don't think I'm ugly, but I don't think I'm like, somebody's gonna stop and stare like I'm a supermodel, right? So it's usually not on my radar to think about if somebody's flirting with me or not. And so I'm telling her, like, yeah, it surprised me to be flirted with, though, because at this point, not only do I not expect to be flirted with, but I have what I refer to as my Super Bowl ring, where I have a chunky, like, engagement ring, and then I still have like a pretty like chunky wedding band, and put together, like, it'll do some damage if I hit you with it, And so I think it's a very obvious ring. And so I'm like, I'm interacting with him, I'm handing him things, I'm typing, I'm left-handed, so I'm constantly using my left hand. I'm typing in things on the keypad. I'm like, he had to have noticed that I have a wedding ring, or like that I'm either, if he doesn't know the wedding band, like, that I'm at least engaged, like I have somebody that I'm with. And this isn't the first time, this is one of the few times that I haven't caught that I was being flirted with necessarily. Like, I kind of just thought, like, oh, maybe he's extra friendly, right? But to my friend, he's like, no, girl, I'm a guy and I'm telling you, he liked what he saw. But I also think about, like, when I am being actively flirted with, like, I can tell somebody's into me. In my head, I'm like, do you not see this big ass ring on my finger? And if you do, why are you still flirting with me? It's not like I get insulted or anything, right? Because at the end of the day, like, people are people, they're going to do what they want. But it does, like, make me go, like, what are you doing? Like, do you not see this? I don't know. Or maybe they think it's just, like, jewelry and they don't realize it's, like, an actual, like, wedding set. But that was interesting, you know. My cousin was like, I wonder if I'll get hit on more or less now that I'm engaged, because she has like a more traditional looking engagement ring where it's like a band and then a solitaire stone on top. And so like her ring clearly looks like an engagement ring, where like I could see maybe somebody would think my ring's a little ambiguous. But yeah, I wonder for her, like I told her report back to me, because I told her my views are skewed because one, I feel like I've really grown into myself the last couple of years to where like I style myself a little differently, and I do think I'm more confident than I used to be when I was younger. And so me maybe necessarily being flirted with more now that I was engaged or at this point now married isn't necessarily as accurate. But where like with my cousin, she has always been like that girl. Like I'm not even glazing her because it's my cousin, like she's just gorgeous. And so she's had to deal with a lot more like guys hitting on her and like sometimes like low-key harassing her. And so she's like, yeah, I wonder. And I told her like report back to me because I'm curious. Like is there a thing where, I don't know, there are some people who would want to flirt with you if they can tell that you're engaged or married? I don't know. I think that would be kind of weird though. Anyways, on that note, I'm going to wrap up this episode. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Now I have to rank everything from the past 2 weeks, and I'm going to give it 5 stars immediately because I'm so happy for my cousin. I'm so happy I got to be there for that special moment for her and her fiance. I'm so grateful that she found a fiance that is as cool of a guy as him. He's so nice. He fits into our family perfectly. Like, and I told her, I appreciate that I could tell immediately from his end that he knew that me and her had a very close relationship, and therefore he wanted to make sure that he had a good relationship with me. And I'm that kind of person too, where it's like, if you're somebody I care about, then I'm going to care about the people you care about. You know what I mean? And he's somebody who's like that too. Fantastic guy. Very happy for them. Very happy I got to be there. And also very happy that Spider-Man is still on the ups, okay? He's still on the ups. The movies are phenomenal. That old lady was really nice. And that guy who flirted with me, that was kind of weird. But you know what? It just reminded me that I'm married to a guy and don't have to deal with the woes of dating in your 20s. And trying to find somebody in your 20s. And so 5 stars. And that is it. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the things. I will see you guys in the next episode. Yeah, that's it. Bye.